This week, I'm getting off my damn phone. Doom scrolling social media has already proved to have a negative impact on my mental health. And then you add on what's going on in our world right now and what we have access to with, you know, the tap of a finger. I don't want to be anywhere near those apps. Besides YouTube and Pinterest, those are my girlies, my besties. I love those too. Other than that, I'm chucking my phone across the room. I don't want to see it for a week. I have the Brick. If you don't know what that is, it's a little tool to get you to stay off certain apps. Not spons, but I have been bricked for 1 day and I hope to see 7 days by the end of this video. So let's talk about what I plan on doing and reading in the meantime. I am currently in the middle of 7 books. The only one missing from this stack is Anne of Green Gables, and I am definitely ready to get some of these off my list. I'm not going to intro these all for you right now because that would take up this entire video, but I will tell you these are the 2 books I picked up most recently. We have the 3rd Zodiac Academy book, The Reckoning, which I've started on audiobook. I think I'm like an hour in, barely anything at all, but I am enjoying this. And then on a very different note, we have All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. Obviously, Zodiac Academy is a fantasy. It's an adult fantasy, and then I believe this is just fiction. I am 65 pages into this and it is so good. I've already cried and I wanted to stop reading it so I could experience it in a reading vlog. So that's why I've put this on pause. I've been physically reading this and I'm really excited to dive back in. Like I said, I'll go more into the synopses. Is that the right word? I don't know. I'll go more in depth about these books once I pick them up for sure, but for now, it's Monday, just after 5, and I'm excited to have some time for myself. Today was a more... That is my dog trying to get in, so let's let her in. Okay, like I was trying to say before Miss Molly interrupted us, I was just saying that it was a more taxing day at work because I had to talk to more people than normal, so more human interaction. I am very tired. I'm excited to just be with my pets, my husband, and my books. Before I end this intro, I also just wanted to say that I just got a sewing machine, so I will probably give y'all an update regarding that. And then I want to share what's in my analog basket, so look forward to that. All right, let's get reading. Hello, it is now Wednesday. We are going on day 3 of this video, and I will give you all the bookish updates in just 1 second. But first, I wanted to give an update, a very sad update. I am definitely feeling down, and that is because I broke my vlog camera. It fell earlier, and I mean, number one, this won't close, and then all of this is just not right. It won't record, nothing. So I am definitely bummed, especially since I've already been struggling to create content these last few weeks. This just makes it a little harder. This is not what I needed. And at first when it happened, I thought it was going to be an easy fix, and I've come to the conclusion that It is not. This is probably gonna be retired now. So yeah, I'm filming on my iPhone. I hope the quality's okay and you can hear me all right. We'll see. I am just going to continue filming on as normal. So let's talk about my day. It did start off really well. I went to an estate sale and I had so much luck. As I think y'all saw earlier, I got so much fabric and I was already so excited about sewing and all of those projects, but now I'm even more so. I feel so inspired. I feel like I just said the word so much. I'll try and stop. But I'm very excited to get started on all those projects because I have good quality, cutesy fabric that's very me. And then I also picked up this picture frame. I just think it is so cutesy and girly and I really like it. It was only $4. And then the last thing I got was this lamp, which is also super cute. It would be on right now, but with the camera on my iPhone, the settings, it wasn't gonna look good, but I'll give you a close-up because seriously, I am obsessed with it. I also got my husband to like drill a hole from my bookshelf so I can actually use it, and yeah, shout out Justin. Anyways, like I said, I have an update on All My Rage. I am 58% through and it says I have 3 hours and 12 minutes left. I want to binge this book tonight and just finish it. So hopefully that happens. I'm not gonna let the camera situation damper my mood because, I mean, it already has, but you just gotta move on. There's nothing I can do. So let me tell you my current thoughts on this book because it is insane. Actually, first I need to give y'all a synopsis. Okay, I decided to go ahead and get comfy, so I hope y'all don't mind, but let's talk about All My Rage and what this is about. Like I said, this is a fiction and it is very much character driven. We are following 2 to 3 main characters and we're watching as they just try and navigate life and stay afloat because they are dealing with some really hard things. And yeah, very character driven, which I love. We are following Sal and Noor, and I'm saying it like that because I believe that is the correct pronunciation. She complains in the book that people call her Noor, so I'm trying not to do that, but hopefully I have that right. We are following these 2 very best friends as, like I said, they're just trying to survive their life in this very small town in California. I believe it's on a military base, so that's not really relevant, but whatever. Like I said, they're very best friends. Think of like a family friend. I would say it's like that. I mean, there's some romance, so I'm not gonna say they're like brother and sister, but a family friend that you care really deeply for. And Sal's mom and his parents are definitely like parental figures to Noor. She calls Sal's mom Auntie Misbah. And speaking of, Auntie Misbah is going through it. She has some health complications and things are really not looking well. So Sal is going through that, all of those struggles with trying to make sure their family motel stays in business. And his father has turned to alcohol to cope with all of this and is honestly just like not really there. And then Noor is also dealing with, you know, the sadness of watching this aunt mother figure be in so much pain, and like I said, things aren't looking well, so she's dealing with that. And on top of that, she is also trying to get out of this really small town. She wants bigger and better for herself, and so do I. She deserves it, but it's a little more complicated than just the typical, I'm gonna apply for, you know, a few colleges and hope I get in. She has a very tricky situation in her home life as her uncle saved her from a earthquake back in Pakistan, and she was like the only survivor, so she really doesn't have any family besides this uncle. that she is feeling, you know, indebted to, because he, you know, didn't have kids. He wasn't planning on raising a child, and so his world was flipped upside down to take care of her, and now they're just butting heads. Yeah, that is all I'll say about the synopsis. As for my thoughts, I am very hooked. I, at this moment, wouldn't give this any less than a 4-star, and I'm so scared to continue on because I want the very best for these characters. And even if that does happen, I think I'm going to go through a lot of struggle before. I mean, at the point where I am, I mean, it's rock bottom. I think the chapter I'm on is about to be the very worst. Actually, there's one chapter beyond that that I think could be worse, that has been hinted at, and I really, really hope it's not as bad as I think. But like I said, it's really good, but it's also painful and sad. And it's great for a young adult. Like, oh, this should be required reading. This is amazing. Now, let's just rip off the band-aid. Let's read this. I will probably cry in the next like 10 minutes, but it is what it is. Hello friends, it is now Saturday, aka Valentine's Day. So Happy belated Love Day to all of you watching. It is personally one of my favorite holidays. Actually, February in general is my favorite month of the year, probably tied with October, but because of Valentine's Day and my birthday is next week. So yeah, I hope y'all had a great Valentine's weekend, but I have some updates to share because first I have finished one book and started another. Then I saw Wuthering Heights in theaters the day it came out and I was immediately obsessed. It's the first time, I swear, that I just saw the movie before reading the book and I highly regret that, but it's okay. I've decided I want to read that now as well, just adding a book to my plate. But as y'all saw, I went to find it in a bookstore and I wasn't obsessed with the copy they had. I think I want to get the Random House or the Penguin Classic, black edition. I think y'all know what I mean. I'll put a picture of it, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna grab that. And then y'all also saw I started my 2 new sewing projects, my first ever sewing projects. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk about how this experience has been being off of my phone. My phone has still been bricked up. I want to say we're on like day 5 now, maybe. But so far, so good. I think it helps that I told y'all earlier on I was going to do this for 7 days. So it's not even been in the back of my mind like, oh, when am I going to unbrick my phone? That's just not happening. We don't have access to those apps. And that has been so nice. My week was really, really good. So yeah, overall, just very good for my mental health. Very happy to report back on that. Now let's go back through that list. So starting off with my sewing projects, obviously I'm wearing one. Y'all saw me make this last night. I did stop recording because it was already stressful enough. I just didn't need to have my phone out recording, but I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, especially because I just had this idea and just did it. I didn't follow a pattern or a video tutorial or anything like that. So yeah, I learned a lot on the way. I have ordered some more sewing supplies that I thought I didn't need, but turns out they are helpful and I went ahead and placed that order. I'm excited to have stuff like that. But yeah, it's okay. This is a shirt that I wasn't wearing because it was from Throne of Glass, which I don't support Sarah J. Maas. So I wasn't wearing this. I was just wearing it to like bed. So to turn it into a cuter shirt that I actually will wear was really fun. And then before I made this shirt, so this was my second project. My first one was actually this dog bandana. I feel like it's hard to tell and it's hard to look at least for me. This pattern was throwing me off while I was making it, but here is a closer look at it. I just have this hole for my dog's collar to go through. Now let's talk about the books. Like I said, I finished the first book we started in this video, All My Rage by Saba Tahir, and it was so good. It was so well written and moving and emotional. I cried a lot. I didn't film it, but trust me, there were tears. I kind of thought I would rate it higher. I ended up giving it a 4 stars, but there was just something missing for me, and I don't really know what that is because it was so good and I loved our 2 main characters. So I'm thinking maybe I needed something else. Like I said, we kind of had this 3rd main character and maybe I wanted something more from them. I don't really know, but yeah, really good. Highly recommend. So deep and meaningful. Also, I don't think I read y'all the quote on the front of the cover, but I want to. It's by Jodi Picoult, and she says, "It is a gorgeous star-crossed story about the cost of the American dream." And that is so true. So just wanted to share that, but yeah, 4 stars. And then the next book I picked up is so entirely different from that masterpiece, but it is the 3rd book in the Zodiac Academy series. I think I told y'all about this a little earlier, but it's called The Reckoning. This is just so unserious and a silly, goofy time in a crazy fantasy world. Crazy as in like goofy. It's a trip. It's really fun. I mean, hello, I'm on the third book. For context, I did not like the first book at all. I probably gave it a 2.5 stars if I'm remembering right. And then the second book was way better. Really enjoyed that. And yeah, now I'm on the third and I'm listening to this on Audible. I am only 25% through, so chapter 10. I've been reading along sometimes, you know, that immersive experience when you do both, but yeah, so far so good. Following two twin sisters that did not grow up in this fantasy world, and now they're like, you know, dropped into this academy, and everyone hates them, and everyone's really rude to them, but it's entertaining, it's crazy, and we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that is what you've missed on Glee. But this is my plan for the rest of the weekend. I just plan on listening to this while I do some chores, and I think I might do some coloring, which I need to still show y'all my analog basket. I'll do that later. But yeah, it's Saturday night. Let's go read. It is now Sunday, and I wanted to share one final update on this book before finishing it. I want to say I'm around 60-ish% through. I'm on chapter 26. Like I told y'all earlier, this is the third book in the Zodiac Academy series, so I can't tell you too much, but I will tell you a bit of a synopsis of what this book is about. It is called The Reckoning, and that's essentially what the entire plot has been so far. The Reckoning are these like trials that the freshman students at this academy have to pass in order to continue going to school here. And yeah, they're tough. And of course, beyond that, our two female main characters, the twins, are getting into trouble just per usual for existing because nobody really likes them. I mean, some people really like them, and that's a super hilarious plot, but for the most part, they have some haters, you could say, and it's such a weird dynamic because those people hate them, but they also love them and like want to be with them. They're obsessed. It's strange, but very entertaining. And I've enjoyed a lot of scenes, like specifically 2 scenes I can think of that I was like, that was really good. One of them was the bike racing. That's all I'll say, but yeah, so far so good. I think I'm enjoying it as much as I did the second book, and I want to say I have like 3-ish hours left in the audiobook, so I don't think I'm gonna finish tonight because it's like 9 p.m., but I'll read a few more chapters and finish up tomorrow. We'll see how things go. These books have typically ended in cliffhangers, so that's what I'm expecting. And also, there was just some recent developments that make me think the rest of the book is not gonna be so good for our twins. So we'll see. And then I wanted to share what is in my analog basket because I told y'all I would. So let's get into it. But first, if you don't know what an analog basket or bag is, It is just essentially a one-stop shop for all of your like hobbies and interests and things to get you off your phone. So yeah, starting from the back, I just have a bookcase with the nonfiction I'm currently reading. I think that's going to be my plan. I'll always just have a nonfiction in here. Right now it's the Anthropocene Reviewed, and I have tabs in here. Next, we have a bunch of crafts. So I have this coloring book that is more detailed, and I have a bunch of colored pencils in here. I showed these in my last vlog because I actually thrifted them at an estate sale, so that was a really cool find. And I've started on one picture. My coloring skills are basic at most, but it definitely is more time consuming than the markers and coloring with like these, which, don't get me wrong, like I think this is still my preferred method. It's much more fun and whatnot. Let me show you one of my pictures. Here is an example of those. And I guess we'll just get to my markers. I have the Ohuhu ones. These are the Honolulu alcohol markers, if you were curious. They're so good, I love them. I want more. Then I have two journals in here. One is my reading journal, and then one is my like journal, like I write my thoughts and how my day was. And then this little stack actually makes me so happy. I have a word search and a Sudoku that I got like 5 years ago from Target. They were actually from the little like dollar section. Actually, maybe not word search, maybe this was Barnes, but love these, mainly Sudoku. I'm obsessed with this. And then my bestie actually just got me the New York Times mini crosswords, and I just think it's gonna be perfect because crosswords scare me. I don't have the knowledge to do this. So if they're short and sweet, then I think I will find more enjoyment through these. But yeah, love these. Then I have my Kindle, of course. I have a little bag with like lotion, chapstick, headphones, and a pen. And then lastly, I just have my CD player, which usually I have some CDs in here and like bigger headphones, but yeah, just like as a reminder that this is an option. And that is all that's in my analog basket. I really love this trend. So if you by chance have one, let me know if you have anything that you think I should add to mine. All right, that's all. Let's get back to reading. It has officially been 1 week since I started this video, so I think it's time to wrap it up. And I would say we were successful. I stayed off my phone for the past week, enjoyed some good books, had a bad camera accident that got me down, but we kept going. And yeah, I'll start off by talking about The Reckoning. I think the last time I talked to y'all, I was more scared for the ending than I needed to be. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, terrible stuff did happen, but I was expecting worse. If you didn't know, this is like a bully romance, which isn't my favorite, but it is what it is. I'm still enjoying my time. I didn't enjoy it as much as the second book, which I gave a 4 stars, so I'm giving this a 3.5, but it did end on a big event at the end, so I guess you could say cliffhanger. Not as much as I was expecting, although like now I know what book 4 will be about and why it is titled the way it is, but yeah, 3.5 stars, excited to continue this series. And then as a reminder, of course, y'all know I enjoyed All My Rage, 4 stars, so good, highly recommend. And that's all I have for y'all today. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you hate the camera quality and whatnot, don't tell me because I'm already bummed about the camera situation, but I'll figure something out. And with that, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.